Gloria Gaither stood next to her husband Bill as the soul of gospel music. Now, with a fragile voice and tears, she says goodbye. She is not only leaving the stage, but may also be saying farewell to all of us. What happened behind the scenes that led to this emotional departure? And why are fans worldwide preparing for what could be the hardest chapter yet? Gloria Gaither has been more than just Bill Gaither's wife. She has been the driving force behind many of the greatest songs in Christian music. As co-writer of many Gaither hits and the poetic voice in their lyrics, Gloria has touched hearts everywhere with her faith and timeless words. Now, at 82, she has shared a heartfelt message with her fans. It signals a new chapter in her life. In a video released by Gther Music Group, Gloria looked very emotional. She thanked fans for years of love, prayers, and steady support. "There comes a time," she said, her voice shaking, "when you feel a gentle tug on your heart. It's a sign that God is calling you to a quieter season." Though she didn't say outright that she's retiring, she hinted at stepping back from public shows and big events. Instead, she wants more time with family, writing, reflecting, and being still. This is very different from her decades of traveling, singing, and working in ministry. Before the world knew her as a famous lyricist and gospel lead, Gloria was simply Gloria Sickle. She was born on March 4th, 1942, in Michigan. Her family was strong in faith and morals. She grew up in a home that valued education, music, and literature. From a young age, Gloria had a gift for expressing herself with words. She was a bright student who loved writing and the arts. After high school, she went to Anderson University in Indiana. She studied English and grew both in knowledge and faith. Her faith would later influence all her songs. At Anderson, she met Bill Gaither. He was a lively music teacher then. At first, they only worked together. Bill was already forming a gospel group with his brother and sister. Their shared love of faith and music made them closer. The couple married in 1962. Their partnership changed Christian music forever. At first, Gloria taught English at Alexandria High School. Meanwhile, Bill worked as a full-time singer. Gloria's gift for words and deep poetry soon found its way into their songs. Bill made the music. Gloria gave it meaning with lyrics that touched many hearts. Her breakthrough came with the song "Because He Lives," now a well-known hymn. She wrote it during a hard time in her life. They were expecting their third child, and the country was in turmoil. By the late 1960s, Gloria and Bill Gaither seemed to live the perfect Christian life. They were happily married, raising a young family, and dedicated to ministry through music. But beneath that, they faced a tough, emotional, and spiritual challenge. The world was in chaos. The Vietnam War was ongoing. The civil rights movement was shaking the nation. Colleges were filled with protests, and Christian values were challenged openly. At the same time, the Gaithers faced their own worries. Bill was exhausted from constant touring and ministry work. Gloria, pregnant again, felt overwhelmed by anxiety about the future. In this storm of feelings, they relied on their faith. During prayer and seeking comfort, Gloria experienced a wave of peace. She felt reassured that God's promises were true. It was in that quiet moment that the words of "Because He Lives" began to form. The lyrics didn't come from an easy place. They grew from struggle, fear, and a desperate hope. That is why the song touched so many hearts worldwide. It was recorded in 1971 and soon became a symbol of hope for Christians in hard times. The hymn became more than a song. It was a powerful message trusting God to hold the future even in uncertain times. The success of Because He Lives made the Gaithers and Gloria especially well known. She was no longer just the wife of a gospel singer or a behind-the-scenes writer. People saw her as a deep thinker and poet whose words moved spirits and hearts. But even in the spotlight, Gloria stayed humble. She continued writing a lot: songs, devotionals, books, and reflections on faith, family, and purpose. Gloria and Bill co-wrote more than 700 songs, many becoming part of church life around the world. What set Gloria apart was her way of mixing deep faith and raw human feelings. She didn't write from a high place, but from real life: motherhood, ministry, grief, and joy. During the 1970s and 1980s, as the Gther vocal band grew and the Homecoming series started, Gloria kept her steady influence. She often didn't sing publicly, but her voice was in every lyric, prayer, and moment that touched people. She also mentored young Christian artists and was a popular speaker at women's events. Her calm, thoughtful style and her depth of understanding made her stand out. Her gift was not just her words, but how deeply she understood life and faith. As the Gther group grew and the Homecoming series gained fame, Gloria stayed quietly strong behind the scenes. She wrote, spoke, and ministered with grace and deep wisdom. Now, as she steps away from public life, fans remember not only her work in gospel music, but the incredible journey that took a small-town teacher and made her a symbol of faith through song. During the 1970s and 1980s, Gloria Gaither became a quiet force in gospel music. While her husband Bill often took the spotlight, Gloria's steady voice supported their creative and spiritual work. Her influence was powerful without being loud. The Gther vocal band and the Gther Homecoming series became popular among Christian families everywhere. Their music went beyond entertainment. It was a form of ministry. Gloria's songwriting added depth and elegance that set her apart. In a genre often full of cliches, her lyrics were rich with religious meaning, poetic images, and real emotion. She made big spiritual ideas personal, turning complex mysteries into words anyone could sing during times of grief, joy, doubt, or faith. One of her greatest gifts was her storytelling. Gloria didn't just write catchy choruses. She told stories of moving from darkness to light, despair to hope, or death to new life. Her songs carried weight and touched many hearts. She understood redemption's power, not just in the Bible, but in how people live. She used her words to explain that journey in ways that still inspire today. Besides music, Gloria became a strong voice for Christian women. At a time when women rarely held major roles in religious music, she broke down walls quietly. She wasn't about glitter or fame. She wasn't just a pastor's wife singing backup. Gloria was an intellectual, a mother, a thinker, and a spiritual guide. She wrote many devotionals, journals, and essays about faith, culture, identity, and family. Her words helped women through motherhood, ministry, and their private struggles. She was honest about her own difficulties. She didn't pretend to have all the answers. She knew where to turn for help. Gloria also invested deeply in the next generation. She helped start the Gther Family Resources Center and the Gther Homecoming Bible. Through her mentorship, she helped young gospel artists, especially women, see her as a role model. In a world focused on fame and image, Gloria stayed committed to true meaning. She once said, "We never set out to be stars. We set out to be faithful." Her dedication made a difference. Every song she wrote came from a life well lived. Gloria was never flashy. She rarely sought attention. Anyone who spent even a moment with her could feel the quiet strength of her soul. Her faith wasn't shown just for others to see. It was lived, practiced, tested, and sharpened through real-life experiences. Gloria's greatest way of serving was in how she showed up every day. Friends say she listened well, was thoughtful, and truly understood others. She didn't fill silence with noise, she filled it with peace. During meetings, she asked the questions that made people think deeper. In a crisis, she brought calm and clarity. As a wife, she was fiercely loyal. She and Bill spent more than 60 years married, not just as music partners, but as soulmate partners. Their marriage faced many challenges. Raising 3 children while traveling, managing a large ministry, and meeting public expectations took its toll. But through it all, Gloria remained a steady presence. As a mother, she was intentional and caring. Her children remember a mom who was always there, even when her schedule was full. She wrote songs late at night after her children slept. She took long walks, had meaningful talks, and taught her kids about Jesus, compassion, honesty, and responsibility. As a friend, she was loyal and wise. She mentored artists, writers, pastors, and thinkers. Many say her guidance shaped how they see their faith and work. She had a special gift for spotting others' talents and encouraging them with love. As a woman of faith, Gloria Gaither bridged tradition and growth. She loved the old hymns, but was not afraid to ask hard questions. She held to biblical truth while accepting life's complexity. Her faith was deep enough for questions. Her life proves that living well is more than being famous. Success in ministry isn't measured by fame, but by faithfulness. A song's power comes from the life behind it. True greatness is serving others. Even as she steps back from public life, Gloria leaves more than a long list of beloved hymns. She leaves a legacy of wisdom, grace, and strength. Her songs will be sung in churches, at funerals, hospital rooms, and family gatherings for many years. More than that, her example will inspire others to live with purpose, humility, and strong faith. It feels right to let her words ring out at this farewell. God sent his Son. They called him Jesus. He came to love, heal, and forgive. He lived and died. Most know Gloria Gaither for her beautiful words and deep faith. Those closest to her know her first ministry was always her family. Behind every concert, song, and book was a home full of laughter, long talks, music, and faith. Gloria and Bill Gaither raised 3 children, Suzanne, Amy, and Benjamin. Each one was touched by her steady care and love in their own way. Suzanne Gaither Jennings, the oldest, has worked long in the Gther ministry and business work. Suzanne worked quietly behind the scenes with her parents. She helped manage the Gther family's money and co-wrote several songs with her mother. Many of these songs became popular at homecoming events. Suzanne is more than just a helper. She has taken the Gther family's vision to the next level. She combines business skills with a deep respect for their musical and spiritual roots. Amy Gaither Hayes, the middle child, chose her own creative path. She is a poet, actress, and teacher. Amy inherited her mother's love for words and literature. She often talks about how her childhood was full of thought-provoking conversations. These talks often mixed faith, art, and curiosity. Amy once said, Mom didn't just want us to be good Christians. She wanted us to think, ask questions, and understand why we believed what we did. Benjamin Gther, the youngest, followed his father's musical path. He is a producer and songwriter. Ben co-founded Livorn Media and has worked closely with his parents on many projects. His music is more modern but still rooted in truth, family, and faith. All three siblings see their mother as a role model, not just as a parent. They remember her patience during busy touring years, her late-night writing after tucking them into bed, and how she turned simple moments into lessons on faith. Family vacations weren't lavish, but they felt sacred. They made sure they spent quality time together. Even when the demands of ministry grew heavy, Gloria kept her family a priority. Recently, Gloria shared her wish to slow down. Her family responded with love and gratitude. They have always seen her as a steady strength, especially during busy times on the road. Now, as she steps back from the spotlight, her children and grandchildren rally around her. They respect her wishes for a quieter life. They say her legacy doesn't end now, it simply changes form. Her wisdom will go on through books, music, re-releases, and old writings. It will touch new lives. In a recent interview, Bill Gaither spoke with love as he talked about Gloria's decision. Gloria has given so much for over 60 years. She has dedicated herself to the church, her family, and the world with her words. Now, he believes, it is time for her to rest. She can hold her grandkids, walk in the garden, and listen more. She has earned that peace. Her grandchildren, now teens and young adults, also shared their appreciation. Some said she was their favorite storyteller. They saw her with a journal in her lap and stories in her heart. They describe her as curious, wise, and full of grace. Gloria's message to step back brought many emotions across the globe. Fans took to social media to share their thoughts. On YouTube, thousands left heartfelt comments on her farewell video. Many said her songs helped them through hard times, including battling cancer. I discovered Christ through the Gther homecoming tapes. Gloria's words moved me to tears every time. My mom played her music because she believed in the song He Lives, especially during our birthdays. Now she has passed, but Gloria's words still bring her spirit close. Churches all over the U.S. and abroad have held special services honoring Gloria's impact. Radio stations aired hour-long tributes celebrating her life. Some fans even made videos sharing how her songs changed their hearts. The personal stories are powerful, showing how deeply her music touched lives. Gloria Gaither never sought fame, yet her honesty made people feel connected to her. She was the one whose lyrics spoke to your pain and hope. She reminded us that God remains in control, and faith doesn't have to be showy to be genuine. Her hymns remain alive in nursing homes, played daily. They fill prison chapels, echoing hope and comfort. In quiet homes, her words still live on in framed music and worn CDs. Now, as fans and families say goodbye to her public presence, there is a shared sense of gratitude. She never claimed her time was over, only that it's time to listen more and rest more. She teaches us by her example. As people let go of her stage presence, they hold on to the love and faith she inspired in their lives. Her legacy isn't in bright lights, but in her lyrics and in the hearts she touched. It's not carved in stone, but engraved in souls.